I need help staying in alignment when my focus gets caught in things that are none of my business.
Yeah, well, that's what we were talking about. 94% of what you think about.
Yes.
A lot. Everybody's sort of that way. What is making you say with such accurate confidence that it's none of my business? Why are you so confident that it isn't any of your business? Because it doesn't feel good, which means your inner being is not making it. If your inner being were making something your business, you would feel resonance when you make it your business. Like the postman. Esther hardly ever meets up with him, but she'd forgotten something, and so she went back and went in the front of the house, and he came and was so diligent about putting her packages and her mail where he knows it belongs, even though it is not the most convenient. And he was careful not to step on flowers and to step on the stepping stones, and Esther got to witness it. And she just thought, I have to tell him how much I appreciate him. That was just the easiest thing in the world to do. That was her business, because her heart was singing. And she just felt like she just wanted to say to him, thank you, thank you, thank you, and maybe give him something extra. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Something like that is your business. When you feel like that, it's your business. But if he'd been grumbling, if he'd dropped something, if he'd sworn, if he'd crushed a flower, if he'd thrown it over the fence, and Esther had felt unhappy about it, seems like it's her business. That didn't happen. That's never happened. We made all that up. But well, it happened a long time ago, but seems like it's her business because it's her mail and her fence and her postman. But what we're saying to you is, if your heart isn't singing, your inner being hasn't made it your inner being's business, and therefore we pronounce it's not your business.
Okay, I understand that. And
so that was a pretty big bridge.
It is.
So let's talk practicality. So give us an example, and it's all right.
Okay, I want to be real general, but I want to be a part of the becoming of a better place in the world. I feel good, and I want to...
Well, then you can't help but be a promoter of that if you feel good. But when you feel bad, that's when you're out of step. And the world wants to say to you that when you feel bad, that's when you need to step up and do something. And we say, when you feel bad and you step up and do something, you add to what feels bad.
Right.
So you want to watch for easy existing matches. Easy existing matches. They're all over the place. Easy because you're right there and you're not having to make it up. But even if you have to make it up, it's existing in your mind.
Right. Okay, and it's just, and I can do this, and I can do it on my own.
It feels like I can do this, like there's a kind of urgency about I can do this, and we want to soften that urgency by saying 100% of the non-physical population, and it's huge, we can't even describe to you what that energy is on that. That is the momentum. People freak out because things look like they're going one way and they want them to go another way. But the wanted end of the stick is being answered. And so what you want to do is, let's make this fun. Play with this for the next few days. I'm testing myself to see if I'm in the vicinity of what the source energy is inspiring on this topic. What am I going to see when I turn on my television? What am I going to hear as I'm standing in line at the grocery store? What am I going to rendezvous with? Am I going to rendezvous with the struggle, or am I going to rendezvous with the solutions that are coming as fast as the struggle is coming? They are. You just don't see them if you're oriented to the struggle. There has never been a faster, more glorious movement toward well-being than is happening right now on planet Earth. Think about why. This end of the stick's getting picked up quite a bit because there's some stuff to complain about from every perspective. But that means the other end of the stick's being picked up too. And that end of the stick has the undivided attention of source energy. And so huge cooperative component. Remember, it's attraction. So what does that mean? What does it seem like it would mean if your inner being has been watching you and everybody else, and knows what you're asking for, and is focused only on wanted, not on the reason it's wanted, not on what happened that makes you want it, only on the wanted. So think about that source energy. This is the energy that creates worlds. This is the energy that keeps planets spinning in orbit in perfect proximity to other planets. In other words, this is big time, very effective, very productive energy focused on this vortex. So then what do you think that means to law of attraction. Law of attraction then is taking that focus and gathering the cooperative components. And the question that you're asking is, am I one of them? Am I one of the cooperative components that's going to get gathered up in this? Or am I a cooperative component that's going to get gathered up into that? Which cooperative component? Am I an advocate or a protester? What am I being drawn to? And that's why what we were talking about earlier, when you say, I have this idea, oh, I want that. And we say, where did it come from? Where did it come from? So can be very productive as you feel exhilarated about something or inspired to say something nice or do something that feels good to you when you do it. And you say, where did that come from? Well, it came straight from the vortex. It was my inner being suggestion, and I'm aligned. And so I heard it. And so I was able to follow through with it. So I got to be in on the manifestation of something that didn't just sound good and feel good. I got to be in on the manifestation of something that was really, really good. And likewise the other way. If you feel drawn to act or gesture or whatever, where'd that come from? Well, it came from the anti-vortex.
Right. Okay. Thank you. This is awesome. Thank
really
you.
Good?
I love it. Advocate.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Really good. So now what? Let's do more of this. Let's do some more of this. You willing to do some more of this? The work's easy. It's just constant. Lay it on us.
Okay. Today, for the first time, I pictured myself up on the stage.
Yeah.
And the way I did it, what came through was this style of microphone. I don't even know where it came from, but that picture, exactly. So anyway, but it was nice confirmation. So I've been feeling mostly recently, been feeling very connected to Source in a very, almost like a static way.
It doesn't surprise us because it's like those of you who have been practicing your alignment with everything that's going on, you're sort of cloaked in well-being. That's the best way of describing it. It's sort of like having good shock absorbers, not with emphasis on the shock, but with emphasis on the comfort.
Yeah. It's just this very, and it can be very intense. Like I could be walking down the streets.
It is intense because your desire is intense.
Tearing like, oh my God.
We want to say this to you very softly because you're tuned in a lot. But when there have been things that you've been focused upon, so you've been more out of whack than usual and have been depriving yourself of the comfort of alignment. As you let yourself get closer to it, the comfort is really strong. It really feels strong. The feeling of well-being is really strong. And your rational mind can make fun of you if you're not watching out, because your rational mind wants to say, but wait, nothing's better. Everything's exactly the same. I'm just fooling myself, but you're not. You're not. When you feel better, you are empowered in a way that you are not when you feel bad. Your point of attraction is better when you feel better. It just is.
Yeah.
So
what the sticky part is, when I'm in that feeling of it, it's very much
the feeling of what?
Of Source. It's just a very ecstatic, intense, beautiful, incredible feeling.
It's all encompassing.
It's all encompassing.
The cells of your body are already tuned into it, and so when you get all the resistance out of the way because of your focus, then you're having a sort of electrical moment.
Yes, it's electrical.
That's why you're using words like it's an electrical moment. The circuits are open and now the current is flowing where in places that it hasn't been flowing as steadily.
Right.
And we don't mean that in a worrisome way. It's like when you open the floodgates, there's a sensation.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I don't have a specific that I'm wanting.
Then get out.
But there's just this wanting to stay there, and it feels as if...
You don't want to stay there. We really don't want you to try to stay there. We want you to know that you can get there anytime you want to. We don't want you to hide from life. We want you to be a step one participant. We want you to launch more rockets of desire. Sometimes if you decide you want to stay there, then you're not real with yourself, and then you put happy face stickers on things. And if you don't know where you are, then you can't feel the improvement. So just be real about it and just know that you can get there on any topic with enough desire to be there, but start with the things that are easiest. And then after a while, everything's easy. There isn't anything that is so troubling that you can't find the balance.
I think that I'm afraid I'll dabble into a topic that'll take me down.
You know too much. You can't. You can't. Your connection with your source is too known by you. There's too much momentum about that. There's absolutely no worry about that. No worry about that with any of you, but we really mean it with you. There's no worry about that. Sometimes Esther will get off on a track and she'll know. It's sort of like just deciding to feel bad just for the fun of feeling better later. It's like hitting yourself over the head with a hammer because it feels so good when you stop. It's like that. But it's also something else that you don't hear from us very much in settings like this. It's high time that we have a conversation like this. Molding this clay, it is the relationship between unwanted and wanted that you make all your stuff from. And if you deny the unwanted, then you don't make anything good. In other words, if you don't know what you don't want, you can't know what you do want. You could not even focus your eyes if there were not light and absence of light. And so don't be afraid of negative emotion. Embrace it. This is my guidance system showing me what pieces I want to integrate. We're going to make up a really fun, but dumb, but fun, mostly fun analogy that you're a wannabe cook in a kitchen and you've never been a cook, but there's a lot of ingredients in there. And you have people that you're going to feed who are really rooting for you to figure this out. And there's two ways that you can figure it out. You can just mix stuff together and say to them, try that. And those that remain will give you enough feedback that eventually you'll get better at it. But what if you have an inner being and you pick something up and you think, this? And you feel, You pick up this and, In other words, this is a silly analogy because you want to know the proportions and the percentages. But what we're getting at is your inner being knows everything that you want and knows all of the ingredients that are accessible to you and is guiding you with that kind of precision.
So I think what's really happening is I'm sort of denying what I really want, probably because I don't think I could really get
That's
it.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy was doing back there, that guy. A guy who pretends he can't see. Because you want to be right. You don't want to have paid all of this miserable price as you've dragged yourself through your life and not learned anything. You want to be right. And so you've got all this hard clay and you earned it and you want it to be right. Or do you want to feel good? Yeah. Because you could have been so right about so many things, but things have evolved. And now the things that you were really right about aren't right anymore. You can think of endless examples of that. You're evolving. This is the best way to say it. We talk about your emotions as feeling good and feeling bad, or feeling good and not feeling so good, good and bad. And that's a little judgy, isn't it? But how else are you going to acknowledge your guidance system? This feels better and this feels worse. This feels like I want to go there and this feels like I don't. So it feels good and bad, like Kate's warmer, cooler game. Aligned or not aligned, allowing or resistance. That's what feeling good and feeling bad is. Allowing, alignment, resisting, not allowing alignment. But when you take this feels good and this feels bad and you turn it into this is right and this is wrong, now it's tricky, treacherous really. Because when you're saying right and wrong, you're usually assigning it to others over which you have no moldable, pliable. You can only align to your inner being. You can't make others align. So many people, you've tried so hard to be good and not bad by an outside standard, and now it's a little shocking for us to tell you there's not an outside standard, because your inner being never would call you bad. Your inner being always knows you as good, of value and worthy, always. And that's annoying because you know some people that should be labeled bad. And that's why you want to make it right and wrong, but it gets treacherous right away, where when you just let it be, feels better, feels worse, feels better, feels worse. You can sort your way through anything and adjust your point of attraction so that only what you have identified that you really want to feel shows itself to you. It's like the law of attraction just doesn't light things up that aren't lighted up in your bag. So the more you clarify the bag of marbles that you're carrying around, there's so many analogies we're making you crazy. This end of the stick, this bag of marbles. The better it gets, the better it gets. And we really liked the statement earlier about what's my business and what's not my business. And we really want you to feel what is your business.